It's probably been quite some time since you last made a student loan payment. Well, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but student loan payments are starting up again in January of 2022. It may feel overwhelming, especially if your financial situation has changed drastically since the pandemic began. But don't worry, because in this video, I'm going over everything you need to know before student loan payments start up again. Let's go. Hey, this is Carlos with Influential Finance, and on this channel, I make videos every week about all kinds of personal finance topics. So if you are new here and you want to see more videos just like this one, consider subscribing. If you have student loans, repayment starts in January of 2022. Exactly when your payment is due depends on your student loan servicer and when your loan's original due date was. If you're having trouble figuring out the due date of your first payment, make sure to get in contact with your loan servicer as soon as possible. The Department of Education has set out a plan that offers clear communication to borrowers so no one is left wondering what to do next. So, if you have student loans, you should have received a few email communications by now from your loan servicer. If you haven't, make sure to check your spam folder because their communications may sometimes be sent to your spam. So, what should you do if you can't afford your payments? If you're having financial trouble, are unemployed, or have other financial issues due to the pandemic, you have to speak up. If you don't let the Department of Education or your loan servicer know what's going on, they can't help. Chances are there are millions of people in your situation and your loan servicer should be able to work with you. If you're employed but can't afford your monthly payment, your first step should be to apply for the economic hardship deferment. However, if you're unemployed, you should complete the unemployment deferment form. These are the easiest ways to let everyone involved know that you're having financial issues and may not be able to jump right back into your payments. If you want to file those forms, I'll leave links to them in the description of this video below. If you're able to defer your student loan payments with either of these plans, the interest on your loans will not accrue, which is a huge deal. This is good news because it means your balance won't continue to increase while you can't make payments. If you're not able to qualify for either of these programs, forbearance will most likely be your next best option, but it doesn't have the same benefits. Interest will accrue if you place your loans on forbearance, so it's important to have a plan on how you'll start making payments. If you can, it may be beneficial to make partial payments during your period of forbearance to keep the interest accrual down. So how should you prepare for your student loan payments? To prepare yourself for your student loan payments starting again, figure out how much you can afford to pay. Ask yourself, does your old payment plan still fit into your budget, or are you in a different financial position? If not, start to figure out what you'll do and don't wait until payments are due. If you can't afford your payments, the worst thing you can do is to do nothing at all. After you figure out how much you can afford to pay, make sure to log into your servicer's website and review your loan terms. It's been over 18 months since student loan payments were paused, so many of you may not remember how much you were paying. Therefore, make sure to log in early to ensure that everything is in order. The last thing you want is to miss a payment because you thought that the bank account you linked was still active, but in reality, you switched banks over a year ago. Let's talk briefly about student loan forgiveness. Student loan forgiveness programs still exist like they always did. You can still apply for these programs as you become eligible. The most common being the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Most student loan forgiveness programs require 10 years of payments though, so you may still find yourself making payments for quite a while. This makes an income-based repayment plan even more important to put on your radar now, especially if you are struggling to make your payments. Just make sure you understand all of the requirements for whatever loan forgiveness program you are looking to apply to. Hundreds of thousands of people have been rejected from the PSLF because they did not choose the correct repayment plan or they did not have eligible loans. So here are some final tips to make sure that you are in the best position possible when payments restart. First, make sure you know your loan. Don't assume that you know or remember the terms or what will happen when repayment starts. pull up your account and take a look at what comes next. You may have a new loan servicer since many pulled out of the system since the pandemic started. Know everything about your loan so that you can make smart decisions when repayment begins. Second, pay off as much principal as you can. If you have the money, make the payments. Even though payments aren't required right now, the more principal you can knock off your loans now, the more money you will save in the long run because you will pay less interest. And third, investigate your state's programs. Many people don't know this, but in nearly every state here in the US has at least one loan forgiveness programs. These programs are run by the states and not the federal government. So you may not hear about each program being talked about widely on the news. After I graduated college, I moved to the state of Maryland for a few years, and I didn't even know that they had a program to help people pay back their loans. They practically give away free money to anyone living in the state that has an outstanding student loan balance. And if you're not looking for these programs, you may not even know that your state has them. So I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video where you can verify if your state has a program to help you pay off your loans. Before student loans start up again, you should figure out exactly how much you can afford to pay towards your loans. The only way you can figure out the exact amount is by creating a plan for your money. In other words, a budget. If you want to see a video where I break down some of the most popular budgeting apps, click on the video right up here and I'll see you there. Peace.